Hello, I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer. Welcome to my channel, List of Essential Oils and Their Uses. This video is about essential oils for grief. I'm really sorry that you're sitting here watching it. I can't imagine what you're going through, and I take that responsibility very seriously. And unlike a lot of the videos on here that are designed to sell essential oils, I'm focusing on very specific ones. What I'm going to do is try my hardest to help you from a professional aromatherapist point of view. So as such, we will talk about several different oils. You can pick out which one helps you the most. We'll be talking about some cards. These are the Tongue of the Trees cards. They're some cards that I have made with my colleague Gergely Halodi, who is a Hungarian aromatherapist. We wanted a tool that bypassed the conscious mind into the subconscious mind and helped to unravel all of the things that are going on after shock and after trauma. So these are perfect tools for you. So let's start very carefully. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work through the accepted cycle of the 7 stages of grief. Not because I believe that anybody goes through them in a set stage, but it just will give us categories where you think, well, actually, yeah, I'm in that. And of course, they can come in different orders. It's not a set cycle. But if you feel, right, this is where I'm stuck, for example, then you'll know exactly where we've got to go in the cycle. And what I want to stress is grief is a natural process, and it's such a compliment for the person that's died that you're feeling this way. And just because everybody else thinks you should be over it in a set amount of time, that's rubbish. No, if you've been with somebody all your life, all your married life, and they've gone, of course it's not going to take 2 months for them to get better, for you to feel better. And likewise, it's nobody else's business how long this is taking you. But it's important that the emotions keep on flowing. If you feel that you are stuck in a certain stage, counselling of course can help, but essential oils are extremely useful. So for many people, the first stage that we feel after somebody's died, or grieving can be somebody's left, or you've lost a job, or any different things. We're going to say somebody's died for ease, but that's just for tidiness. The first stage is shock, and I feel that the most amazing essential oil for, I always say it's a bit like when you feel like the frightened cat in a cartoon, and you feel like you're absolutely frenzied. I use spikenard. Now, spikenard is a rare oil and an endangered oil. So I always say, please only use it in dire circumstances. I can't think of anything more dire right now. So if you feel like you need an excuse to use an extremely important oil, this is it. In a journey, the keyword tells us about how you move inside of yourself to distance yourself from everything else that's going on outside, to process this awful shock that you've been through. And I can tell you that I've been in a couple of fearful situations where I didn't think I'd be able to go back to seeing the people involved, and spikenard helped me face the future. It's a very, very powerful deep oil, and you'll see from the cards that it's got a purple line down it to show that it's from the roots. And actually in my hand there are many different roots, because roots really help us to draw down into the deep subconscious stuff. This is not everyday emotions that we're feeling, it's about deep transformational stuff. Vetiver. Vetiver is a very deep, profound, heavy oil, very tranquilizing, very peaceful, very quiet. And so if you feel like you want to stop the world because you want to get off, this anchors you to the ground and makes you feel much safer, much quieter. And obviously that's 2 oils now. You might find that you want to mix a couple of oils together, or you might find that you just want to use 1 or 2 oils, and that's absolutely fine. And incidentally, if you want to look at the description at the bottom, it shows you a link that I've got to a free essential oils for mental health course, where I do different blends and some recipes to help you make some bits and pieces if you want to. This is one that I actually don't have, this essential oil. This is turmeric, but I just inhale the spice that I've got in the drawer and breathe those fragrances in and feel the relief of it all. It's like putting down a great big burden. And let me show you, we don't need to use loads and loads of clever gadgetry. All I use when I'm doing the inhalation work is hot water, 1 drop of oil, or half a teaspoon of turmeric. You put it onto the top of the water and just inhale the molecules that come off, just breathing in, slowly, slowing the breath, taking the pressure off the mind. And the aromatic molecules go up the nose, to the back of the nose, to the olfactory bulb, which then send messages up to the parts of the brain that are in shock and frightened, the amygdala, hypothalamus, the limbic system that controls our emotions, our learning, our pain, our mood. All of that taps into exactly the same part of the brain as smell. So just sitting with 5 minutes inhaling the essential oil can do remarkable things. And I just do it once a day, every day. So we've talked about the roots, woods too. Sandalwood. Now this one's a rare card because the D's missing off sandalwood. After this one was done, the D got put in. So any packs of cards you buy will not be a sandalwood. It'll be a sandalwood that is calming and reassuring and grounding. Lovely, prayerful oil, meditative oil. A bit like frankincense. Now frankincense is blue because it's a resin. It gets secreted out of the trees in places like Somalia and Yemen, and it's been used for 5,000 years to calm the brain, to settle us, to slow the breath, to bring about a meditative state of prayer, reduce shock, and to just make us feel more peaceful. We can use the resin as an incense, but obviously there's an essential oil, and 1 drop of essential oil on your water, inhale it for 5 minutes a day, will make you feel so much calmer and take the frazzle away from, my goodness me, the world's just come down on me. I missed a root. I'll talk about Angelica in a minute. Angelica root is about transition, and I'll put it down for a second and I'll talk to you more about that when I talk about cypress, because the medicine is almost the same. It's grounding, pacifying, very good for hospice work, incidentally. If you've got somebody who's dying in a hospice, this is a tremendous oil. As again, cypress, we'll talk about that in a minute. And the flowers, the main flowers that we use. The most important essential oil in grief is one of the most expensive, I will warn you, and that is rose. It's so good at being able to protect the heart. You know, when you have that shock and you can feel the pain, you can feel the hole in your chest. Rose, beautiful, beautiful. Helichrysum. This is one of my favourite friends. I always say it's a bit like when you're in the hospital and the shock is so severe and you lean against the wall of the corridor, but your knees give way and you end up screwed up in the floor because everything's given away. Frankincense goes, yep, I know, it's shit. It is shit, and there's no turning back, but we can get through this. And I always talk about how helichrysum is the wound that will not heal. I've written a book about helichrysum, incidentally. there's no going back when somebody dies, or there's no going back if you've had a car accident and lost the use of your legs. These are irreparable things. Or perhaps you've been born as the twin of somebody who is extremely high maintenance because they're disabled or autistic or anything like that, where it just is. There's nothing you can do about it. It just is, and you've got to get through it. If that rings a bell, helichrysum is your baby. And lavender. I always say I don't really understand why people go for lavender, because it's a bit boring, and the answer to that really is because there isn't anything better. She's so supporting, she's so calming, she's so soothing. She's beautiful, beautiful medicine. And it's not an accident that my office is painted lavender, because it's tranquil. It's just serene and happy. It's like a warm day, and whilst you may feel a long way from that at the moment, it's like being rocked by your mum when things have gone very, very wrong. She's beautiful, and she will get you to sleep. So let's talk about Angelica and Cypress. Different oils from different plants and different parts of the plant. This is from the root, this is from the leaves of the cypress tree, but both of them are ruled astrologically by the Pisces Aries cusp, and that's a very posh way of saying they sit at that moment where life's about to change. Pisces is the old life, Aries is the beginning of the new life, the new zodiac of spring. So winter ends, spring begins, and it's that moment, that threshold of being, I've got to leave the old life and go to the new life. So both of these, as I say, are extremely good for hospice care, for being the patient of letting go and go to the new life, whatever that might look like. But also for the people that are left behind, of knowing that there isn't any going back. And it hurts like crazy. And maybe you want to sit in that moment for a long time because you don't want to let go of the old life. Well, that's okay. These two really understand that, but they take the sting out of it. They're really important essential oils from that point of view. So then we talk about denial, and as I say, those two, sitting. I want to stay here. I don't want to come out of this. I don't want to accept this is true. Perfect. We also have myrtle. Probably right back to front on your thing. That says tranquility. Myrtle's like, imagine a little child who just keeps crying, inconsolable, and just so upset, and your heart goes out to them and you think, I wish I could do something, I just wish I could do something, and you put your arms around her and she stops. That's Myrtle. She understands tears, and she says, don't worry about the future, don't worry about what everybody else thinks, I'm just going to hold you while you cry. We're here. And this is an important point. This is a part of the healing, to be in this moment, on this cusp. You don't have to say goodbye to the past immediately, but these oils, these cypress, angelica, myrtle, say, I'm just going to hold you while you cry. I'm not going to make a noise. I'm just here. Just know I'm here. As does German chamomile. All the chamomiles are soothing. All very good at anger and release and that kind of stuff. She's the most soothing. And where I said that spikenard was for severe situations, so is she. And it's interesting, you know, if you look at the picture, white flower, yellow corona in the middle, but the essential oil is blue, and heat transforms it. And so oils that come out with camosulene, which is the blue azulene component, are medicines that are controlled by heat, controlled by pressure, controlled by stress. If pressure, friction is exerted, then what comes out is different. And the azulene ones, like this, like yarrow, they understand that medicine, and they're very, very soothing. Roman chamomile, same. She sings, usually, and I'm not going to sing because it's not appropriate in this one, but she says, whatever will be, will be. It's part of the denial, isn't it? Part of the denial. And then we go to anger. Now, the most powerful for the anger is rose. There's no getting through any of those any better. Just let it go. Just let it go and just let it soothe your heart. All of these oils are pacifying in their own way, but rose is the most powerful for that fury that you have at them for leaving you, at God for letting it happen, at the person that drove the car at them, at the cancer. It needs somewhere to go, and if you direct it at the petals of the rose, it just becomes absorbed. It's beautiful, beautiful medicine. So then we go on to bargaining. That's a difficult one. And really, as I say, rose is the best medicine for the anger. But it's really expensive. It is very expensive because you need thousands upon thousands of rose petals to make just the tiniest amount of rose oil. So she has a stand-in, a deputy. We shouldn't sell rose geranium short because she's a powerful lady in her own right. But she's very good at balance. So you know that thing of negotiating? You do, don't you, when you're in these situations? You go, God, if you let me get through this, I'll never stop praying again. Or all of those things. This equilibrium. This is fair, that's fair. That's what I'm prepared to accept. But honestly, all of these oils I would recommend just inhalation. You can use them in lots of other ways, and if you join up to my Essentials for Mental Health course, you'll see other ways of doing it. But rose geranium, like no other oil, she goes in your bath. 3 drops in your bath, and you just lie back and inhale, and you feel like the world's just drifting away. You're like on a bed of petals. Petals is the word I'm looking for. A bed of petals. It's just beautiful. It's tranquil. It helps you sleep. The other one, another expensive one, but guys, I'm sorry about this, is Melissa. And Melissa is a really powerful oil for understanding that you have to go to the scary places in your mind to come out of the other side. And she's joy. She's that feeling. Remember how times were so happy before things started to go wrong? She's the flowers on the meadow before the trauma hit. She's beautiful. A bit of a note on Melissa. When you look on an essential oils list, you'll see Melissa has a couple of versions. Melissa Type and Melissa True. Rose essential oil, you need lots and lots of petals. Melissa essential oil is very odd because even though the leaves absolutely reek of the oil, it has a tiny, tiny yield. So True Melissa is pure Melissa, pure lemon balm. It's lemon balm if you don't know that. It's really expensive. So you can buy Melissa Type, which has been cut or adulterated with lemon verbena. They smell the same. They have the same tricks on the brain. So just by inhaling it, doesn't matter that you haven't got the Melissa True, it's still going to do the job. No need to buy an expensive version for that. So then we go down into the depression. And as I say, rose is the best possible thing I can say to you for that, and the geranium. But also we're going to use, see all the reds on the cards. These are the fruits, the citruses, the confidence that you get from grapefruit, and the sheer fizz that you get, the positivity and optimism that you get from orange. The feelings of contentment that might take a long time to come, you know, with lemon. Lemon's really important oil in that its volatiles actually trick the serotonin receptors in the mind. And so serotonin is our mood modulator. Amongst other things, got about 30 different processes, but it makes us feel calmer and just more with it. It's a lovely oil, very positive, very optimistic. If you're feeling like you're in a tangled web and you can't see your way out, things seem frightening and there's lots of different confusing factors. Maybe, for example, you were married to somebody who did everything for you, all of the accounts, and then suddenly you've got to pay bills. Lime. Lime's very good at navigating its way through confusion and making you feel like, oh, actually, I don't know why I didn't do this before. Bergamot. The best oil for depression as an antidepressant. There is one better, but she's not in this card. Her name is yuzu. She's a fruit too. She's a citrus. And they are just wonderful. You know how like depression feels and grief feels? Grey, dark. Everything seems a long way away, doesn't it? Quiet, echoey. The colour's gone. The sunshine's gone. The citruses bring it back, particularly bergamot. And there's loads and loads of scientific evidence behind bergamot and depression. My favourite girl is mandarin. She's really playful. And I always say she's like, my mum used to describe her as, she's an afternoon in Raffles. You know, the posh bar in Singapore. Everybody went in their Sunday best, their hats, their lovely clothes, drank out of fine china, little finger, little pinky extended, very dignified, very demure, very light-hearted. Darling, darling, tell me what's been happening with you. You know, it's chit-chat. And I'm sure if you're grieving, you kind of miss that. Mandarin gets it back. So there's your depression. So next is the testing. And I like the spice oils for this part. The part that says we're coming out, but it's scary. And the chances are I'll probably say the wrong thing and upset somebody. And black pepper goes, so what? Stop worrying about what's right for everybody else. Think about what's right for you. And the key word is orientation. It goes, not over there, here. We want to go that way, don't you? You said you wanted to do that. Stop worrying about everybody else. Let's do that. It's very good if you feel like you're at the beck and call or trying to do things to please everybody else. And then we've got two very strong spices. We've got cinnamon and clove. Both of them are quite aggressive oils. We only use them in tiny, tiny dilutions because they're so strong. But cinnamon goes, you know what? Whatever you want to do, I've got your back. If you want to ride a whitewater raft, come on then. Let's have a go. I've got you. But likewise, she goes, no, that's a bit stupid. That's going a bit far. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have done that. That's too much. She's very good at being audacious, but balanced. And clove is about not taking on everybody else's shit. You know, it's one thing to be compassionate to everybody else's needs. It's another to get grounded under them. She's a very, very helpful oil. And then, hopefully, we're at acceptance. That we know where we're going and we can be positive to go there. And that's where your spices come in. So there's lots of different oils there. So I want to tell you about a couple of different things that I can give you to help you be able to implement those, because there's a lot of different oils. The first is the Tongue of the Trees cards have their own channel. It's called the Tongue of the Trees channel, and I'll leave you a link at the bottom. There are videos on, well, we're aiming for all 56. We haven't got there yet. We've done 20 so far. There's a video on how to use it for physical medicine. There's a video for how to use it for emotional, mental, spiritual, and also the safety and how to blend it. So if you go, well, I've got this oil, I bought it, but I have no idea what to do with it, go on over to that. If you're feeling shaky and you want more support, sign up to my Essential Oils for Mental Health course, and I'll send it as an email out to you, and we address many different things. We do some little recipes, show you how to do a little rollerball to help your anxiety. And if you feel overwhelmed and panicky, make a bath, some bath salts to get you to sleep, a fortifying lotion to make you feel stronger and help you get through this. We talk about the effects that your hormones are having and to fortify your body after the stress. We look at detoxifying your liver, which can be very, very, especially if you've gone through a long illness with somebody or had a bad shock, the liver is the first to start waning. And also diffuser recipe to help to influence the room around you and keep everybody feeling more harmonious. But as I say, have a look at the link, come over, come and spend a few more days, and I'll talk you through and we'll make those recipes together to make you feel stronger. In the meantime, thanks for staying with me, and I hope that my Essential Oils for Grief video has been helpful to you.
So you get your phone, you turn it this way up, and then there's a little red subscribe button. Turn it grey by clicking it, and then there's a little bell. Click that and press all at the bottom of your phone or tablet or computer. It will say you will receive all notifications, and then there's a little hand with a thumbs up. Click that, it'll turn it blue and it says added to your liked videos, and there will be comments, and if you want to you can send a comment and say like hi's to mum and dad, like, and then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So bye.